I'm going to start from the recording start.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
So we'll continue with what we have been studying, is talking about in the last two lectures. We are talking about canonical state space realizations, and in this we have already talked about two canonical realizations. One is first companion form and second companion form, and we have also seen that these two forms are duals of each other, isn't it? So today we are going to talk about the third canonical form, that is Jordan's canonical form. Or what we have called this diagonal form realization. Okay. So we'll start as we have been starting during the last lectures. We'll consider general nth order transfer function. G is equal to beta naught s to the power n plus beta 1 s to the power n minus 1 plus beta 2 s to the power n minus 2 plus so on. Beta n minus 1 s plus beta n equal s to the power n plus alpha 1 s to the power n minus 1 plus alpha 2 s to the power n minus 2 plus alpha n minus 1 s plus alpha. Okay. Now, in order to get the Jordan's canonical form realization, what we'll do, the first step that we'll do is like this. These are two polynomials in S. By simple polynomial division, if we divide this polynomial by this, what will be the coefficient? Yes. You know polynomial division? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
You must have already done this polynomial division during your school times. When you divide two polynomials, you can divide the numerator polynomial by denominator polynomial if the degree is either greater or equal. यहाँ पे डिग्री इक्वल है, आप इन दो पॉलिनोमियल्स को आपस में डिवाइड कर सकते हो. When you divide them, what will be the coefficient? For example, you have got 3s square plus 2s plus 2, and you have to divide it with s square plus s plus 1. How do you carry out the polynomial division? We'll multiply it with 3 like this, so this will be 3s square plus 3s plus 3. And this minus, minus and minus. This and this will go. So this will become minus s minus 1. Isn't it? So this
Yes.
is the coefficient. And this is the remainder, because you cannot carry on the division after this, because now this degree is less than this. The degree of remainder is now less than the degree of the divisor, so the division stops here. Isn't it? So actually the coefficient of this s square is the coefficient. Coefficient of this s square is the quotient in this division. So when you divide this by this, you can represent it like this actually. So this will be beta naught plus beta 1 dash s to the power n minus 1 plus beta 2 dash s to the power n minus 2 plus so on. Beta n minus 1 dash s plus beta n dash upon s to the power n plus alpha 1 s to the power n minus 1 plus alpha 2 s to the power n minus 2 plus so on. Alpha n minus 1 s plus alpha. So actually, if I talk about this example, so I can represent this polynomial like I can represent this 3s square plus 2s plus 2 upon s square plus s plus 1 as, I can write it as 3 plus, then this remainder, that's minus n minus 1 upon s square plus s plus 1. Are you getting me? This is simple plain algebra.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you have got GS is equal to this. Now this GS actually, you know that this is the ratio of YS upon US, actually, isn't it? Now you consider this one, this polynomial, this rational function. ये वाला जो rational function है. So basically, I am going for Jordan's canonical form realization. So I consider the rational function beta 1 dash s to the power n minus 1 plus beta 2 dash s to the power n minus 2 plus so on. Beta n minus 1 dash s plus beta n dash upon s to the power n plus alpha 1 s to the power n minus 1 plus alpha 2 s to the power n minus 2 plus so on. Alpha n minus 1 s plus alpha. Now, in order to get this in Jordan's canonical form, I will consider a subcase. I'll consider case number 1. Case number 1 is when the given transfer function GS has a real and distinct poles. When the given transfer function GS has real and distinct poles, defined as S is equal to lambda I going from 1 to n, like this. I am considering a case where the given transfer function GS has real and distinct poles defined as S is equal to lambda I. That means S is equal to lambda 1, lambda 2, like this. S is equal to lambda 1, lambda 2, so on, up to lambda n. I am considering a case where the given transfer function has got a real and distinct poles defined like this. So in that case, so as you can see here, these are actually the roots of this characteristic equation. Roots of characteristic equation equated to 0. And that polynomial is actually this polynomial. Are you getting me?
So it's n. Lambda 1, I 1, 2, 3 to n.
Okay. So this
Yes,
rational
sir.
function, I call this as G dash S.
So can you just repeat this part?
Which one?
So this entire consider the rational function things, like the case 1 part.
I am basically, this is your GS, and GS has been expressed like this, beta naught has been taken out. Now this function, this I am calling as G dash S, this particular function.
Okay, yes.
Okay?
Okay, sir.
And now this G dash S basically, इसका जो denominator है वो GS का ही denominator है.
Yes.
तो means G dash S के भी poles होंगे, वो GS के भी poles हैं.
हाँ.
So I am considering the case when the given transfer function has got real and distinct poles. So I am considering that the given transfer function has real poles and they are distinct. Distinct means there is no repetition. The poles are distinct. So the poles are designated as lambda 1, lambda 2 up to lambda n. Is that clear?
Okay, sir.
In that case, I can factorize this denominator polynomial.
Yes, sir.
So I can write g dash s as beta 1 dash s to the power n minus 1 plus beta 2 dash s to the power n minus 2 plus so on beta n minus 1 dash s plus beta n dash upon. I can write this denominator polynomial as s minus lambda 1, s minus lambda 2, so on, s minus lambda n minus 1 into s minus lambda n. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Because these इसके जो factors बनेंगे, they will be s minus lambda 1 into s minus lambda 2 up to s minus lambda n. Because I am considering that the poles are real and distinct. Distinct की वजह से ये सारी n terms आ जाएंगी. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Now you can carry out the partial fraction expansion of this.
Yes, sir.
So by partial fraction expansion, we can write. कैसे लिख सकते हैं हम इसको partial fraction expansion से? I can write g dash s is equal to, I can write like this, r1 upon s minus lambda 1 plus r2 upon s minus lambda 2 plus so on, rn minus 1 upon s minus lambda n minus 1 plus rn upon s minus lambda n. Is that okay? Partial fraction expansion you must have done. तो इसको हम partial fraction इसके expand कर सकते हैं, means इसको separate out कर सकते हैं इसके. You must have already done it, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Laplace में भी आपको दिखाया होगा और in general जब 11th 12th में भी partial fraction expansion सिखाते हैं, so you must have seen that in case the denominator has got distinct factors, in that case it becomes easy to carry out the partial fraction expansion, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So where this R1, R2, so on, Rn minus 1, Rn are the, what are these known as? Residues of the function g dash s evaluated at s is equal to lambda 1, lambda 2, so on. These are known as the residues. So do I need to explain this or you know this already?
Yes, sir, we know.
Yes, yes or no?
We know, sir.
You know this, okay. So now this is your g dash s. We had started with gs. gs से हमने start किया था. gs क्या था basically? gs is beta naught plus g dash s. Now this g dash s I can replace this by that partial fraction expansion term. So I can write basically, so therefore gs can be written as so gs is basically ys upon us, and that is beta naught plus g dash s. And instead of this g dash s, I can write this r1 plus s minus lambda 1 plus r2 upon s minus lambda 2 plus so on, rn minus 1 upon s minus lambda n minus 1 plus rn upon S minus lambda. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
So, or I can write ys upon us equal to, this is beta naught plus this term. Now consider this particular term, r1 upon s minus lambda 1. I write it like this. 1 upon s upon 1 minus lambda 1 into 1 upon s into r. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है ना?
Yes, sir.
इसी तरीके से सभी टर्म्स को ऐसे लिखेंगे. I'll write this also as 1 upon s minus 1 minus lambda 2 into 1 upon s multiplied by r2 plus so on. Let me show for the last term also. Plus 1 upon s upon 1 minus lambda n into 1 upon s into r. सही है?
Yes, sir.
Or I can write ys is equal to, now this us I take on this side, so I get beta naught us plus 1 upon s upon 1 minus lambda 1 into 1 upon s into r1 multiplied by us plus 1 upon s upon 1 minus lambda n into 1 upon s into rn multiplied by us. ठीक है? Very simple steps, and I hope you are following the steps. Now, what
Yes,
do I
sir.
have to do? I will draw a simulation diagram corresponding to this. You know that simulation diagram I actually draw in time domain, isn't it? So 1 upon s will be replaced by an integrator, and wherever you have got y, s, u, s, they will be replaced by y, t, and u, t. बाकी कांस्टेंट्स हैं, बीटा नॉट भी कांस्टेंट है, और बाकी जो r1, r2 up to rn है, वो भी सारे रियल कांस्टेंट्स हैं, क्योंकि इसमें रेसिड्यूज रियली होने हैं because the poles are real and distinct. So I have to draw a simulation diagram for this. Now, in order to draw a simulation diagram, let me first of all concentrate, because there are a number of terms here, similar terms added up. So let me see what will be the simulation diagram corresponding to one particular term. Like you have got 1 upon s upon 1 minus lambda 1 into 1 upon s. एक टर्म आपके पास है 1 upon s into 1 minus lambda 1 into 1 upon s, और इसके प्रोडक्ट में r1 है. सही है? तो इसका अगर हम देखें कैसा बनेगा सिमुलेशन डायग्राम, you have already been taught about this feedback transfer function in your last semester. So if I consider this as GS, let me call this something else, like if I call this as G1S, so this is same G1S, and this lambda 1 I call as H1S. Although it's not a function of S, I just call it as H1 or H1S. So this function becomes G1S upon 1 minus G1S H1S. Does it remind you of something?
Positive feedback, sir.
Positive feedback.
It actually can be represented like this. This is G1S this is plus, this is H1S, and then this has to be a plus sign here, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
और इस वाले फंक्शन में जो मैं ये रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा हूँ, इसमें जो G1S है वो 1 upon S है, that means it is an integrator, और H1S जो है वो lambda 1. ये तो इस पार्ट का ट्रांसफर फंक्शन हो गया. Then this whole is to be multiplied by R1, isn't it? You have an option. You can either put this R1 here, or you can put this R1 on this side. या तो R1 क्योंकि प्रोडक्ट ही करना है ना दो का,
Yes, sir.
ये वाली फंक्शन का ट्रांसफर फंक्शन हो गया है g1s upon 1 minus g1s h1s. Then it's to be multiplied by R1. So you can put this block with transfer function R1 either on this side or on this side. Is that clear? So with this background, we will draw the transfer function. We'll draw the simulation diagram corresponding to this. तो आप देखो यहाँ पे ys is actually the sum of many terms. So the first term is what? Beta naught us, and the rest of the terms are of the similar form, are of this form. So how do I draw it? Let me see. So you have got basically, मैं start करूँगा ut से, because I have to draw the simulation diagram, and the simulation diagram is drawn actually in time domains. I have ut multiplied by beta naught. So this becomes beta naught ut. I add it. I have to add number of terms to it, and finally I am going to get yt. ये पहली वाली term है इसकी. This is the first term, as you can see here. Yt is equal to beta naught ut plus. Then second term is this 1 upon s minus 1 upon 1 minus lambda 1 into 1 upon s into r1. So this term actually will be representing like this. We have got by means of this positive feedback system. So this is like this. This is plus. Instead of this g1s, I have 1 upon s. So that I will represent as an integrator. Then I have got here lambda 1. Is that okay? Then this is to be multiplied by what? R1.
R1.
Like this. So it's like this. This is plus and this is plus. And this gives you yt. Is that clear? इसी तरीके से आपके पास बहुत सारी terms हैं ऐसी. This is one term. Similarly, you have got another term like this. This is plus. This is plus. Then you have got integrator. Then you have got lambda 2 here. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir. R2.
Then you have got R2. इसमें भी समिंग ब्लॉक है. इसमें यहाँ से दूसरा एक इनपुट आएगा, वो प्लस इसके साथ होगा, और finally it will be added to this. Isn't it? And so on like this. You have got the last one represented as plus, plus. Then you have got the integrator here. Then you have got lambda n. See it? Then you have got Rn. Is that okay? How many such branches will you have? ऐसे कितनी branches होंगी आपके पास?
N branches.
N plus
N
1.
branches, isn't it? Do you get me? Anybody having any confusion in this? मैं आप लोगों से पूछ रहा हूँ कुछ.
No, sir. No, sir.
बस जवाब आपसे आ रहा है खाली. Yes.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Everybody understands this? Then I can move forward.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So this is your simulation diagram, or what you call state diagram. या जिसको आप एनालॉग कंप्यूटर सिमुलेशन डायग्राम कहते हो. एनालॉग कंप्यूटर सिमुलेशन डायग्राम। अब देखो इसमें भी जो भी कंपोनेंट्स हैं उन सभी कंपोनेंट्स को आप ऑपरेशनल एम्पलीफायर से इंप्लीमेंट कर सकते हो। इंटीग्रेटर circuit you can make for an operational amplifier. This is a gain block. This is again a gain block. This is a summing block. This is a summing block. This is a gain block. Is that clear? So all this can be implemented by means of a simple op-amp circuits. That's why we call it analog computer simulation diagram. And one more thing you should note down here is कि ये वाला ब्लॉक जो है इस वाले ब्लॉक में पोल्स बैठे हुए हैं, जैसे लैम्डा 1, लैम्डा 2, लैम्डा n, और ये वाले ब्लॉक्स में रेसिड्यूज बैठे हुए हैं। As I was telling, this residue can even be put here. Instead of multiplying it here, we can put it here. That will change the structure of B and C matrices. You will see later on. फिलहाल हम ये वाला कॉन्फ़िगरेशन के लिए हम अब स्टेट स्पेस मॉडल डिराइव करेंगे। स्टेट स्पेस मॉडल डिराइव करने के लिए व्हाट इज द रूल, जनरल रूल? Yes. What is the rule for defining the states?
Output of integrators are chosen as states.
State variables. Outputs of integrators are chosen as state variables. How many state variables are there? How many integrators
N,
are there in the simulation diagram? N. So there will be n state variables. So we'll name the state variables. We'll call this integrator output as x1, this integrator output as x2, and so on. This integrator output we'll call as xn. Is that clear? So the outputs of integrators are chosen as state variables. Now, if this is x1, what is this variable here? This one will be
X1 dot.
X1 dot.
If this is x2, this variable is going to be x2 dot. And if this is xn, this variable is going to be xn. Now I write down the state equation. What is x1 dot equal to? X1 dot is equal to, this is x1. So it's actually the sum of these two variables. So this is lambda 1 into x1 plus u. x1 dot is the sum of these two signals. This signal is u. And this particular signal is, ये वाली signal जो है, this is x1 multiplied by lambda 1. Isn't it? So your x1 dot is equal to lambda 1 x1 plus u. x1 dot is equal to lambda 1 x1 plus u. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Similarly, x2 dot is equal to lambda 2 x2 again plus u. This u signal is going here also. So x2 dot is equal to lambda 2 x2 plus u, and so on like this. You'll have xn minus 1 dot equal to lambda n minus 1 xn minus 1 plus u, and xn dot will be equal to lambda n xn plus u. So these will be the n state equations. Is that okay? And what will be the state model like? State matrix form में, इसको matrix form में लिखें, तो you will have x1 dot, x2 dot, so on. Then you have got xn minus 1 dot and xn dot is equal to ये बड़ा मैट्रिक्स A, और ये आपका x1, x2, so on, xn minus 1 and xn. What is x1 dot equal to? It's lambda 1 x1 plus u. तो पहला रो क्या आएगा इसका?
Lambda 1.
Lambda 1,
0 0.
rest all zeros. है ना, प्लस u है,
Yes.
तो प्लस u we are going to write as will be 1 here and u. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, x2 dot is lambda 2 x2 plus u. So this is 0,
0 lambda 2. So
0, and like this. And plus u, that's 1 here. And xn dot is lambda n minus 1 xn minus 1 plus u. So this is 0, 0, so on. This is lambda n minus 1, then 0.
0.
And this is like this, 1 here also. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And xn dot is lambda n xn plus u. So this is 0, 0, so on. Then 0 here and then lambda n here. And plus 0. This is your statement. Is that okay? State equation. And as you can see here, this matrix A here is in
Diagonal matrix.
is a diagonal matrix. And what is along the diagonal? Diagonal पे कौन सी entries हैं?
Poles.
Linear factors of
They
the
are the poles of the transfer function. Isn't it? Along the diagonal, we have got the poles of the transfer function. And what is the structure of B matrix? B vector? It has all entries equal to 1.
Call.
It has all entries equal to 1. As I was अभी जैसे मैं बता रहा था आपसे, here मैंने R1 यहाँ पे रखा. अगर मैं R1 यहाँ पे रखता, R2 यहाँ पे रखता है, Rn भी यहाँ पे रखता, तो इस सिग्नल में जब ये सिग्नल ऐड हो जाती, ut would have got multiplied by R1 here, R2 here, Rn here. So in that particular case, the B matrix would have become R1, R2, so on up to Rn minus 1, Rn. Do you get me?
Yes.
Yes,
Are you
sir.
following me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. This is your state equation. This is your state equation. Now what about the output equation? देखते हैं अब आउटपुट किसके बराबर है. देखो आप इसी स्टेट डायग्राम में देखो, ये आपका y है. What is yt equal to? Yt is equal to sum of many signals. Yt is basically equal to, एक तो ये डायरेक्ट जा रहा है यहाँ पे, this is beta naught u. Then you have got this signal. What is this signal here? This is R1 into X1, isn't it? This signal here, yt basically summation है ना इन सभी signals का. ये वाली signal
Yes, sir.
यहाँ पे, this is X1 multiplied by R1. This signal is X2 multiplied by R2, and this signal is Xn multiplied by Rn. So sum of all these signals plus beta naught u. So y is basically, what is y basically?
X1 R1 plus X2 R2 plus beta naught
Y
and so
is
on.
basically equal to R1 X1 plus R2 X2 plus so on Rn minus 1 Xn minus 1 plus Rn Xn plus beta naught u. Isn't it? So in matrix form, I can write it as, it can be written as y is equal to, like this, R1, R2, so on, Rn minus 1, Rn, X1, X2, so on, Xn minus 1, Xn, plus beta naught. ये आपका C वाला मैट्रिक्स है और ये आपका D. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Now this R1, R2, Rn minus 1, Rn, they are the residues actually. तो C वाले मैट्रिक्स की जो एंट्रीज हैं, they are the residues of the function GS computed at the poles lambda 1, lambda 2, so on up to lambda n. Previously अगर मैंने ये R1 R2 यहाँ पे लिखा होता, अगर मैंने R1 R2 यहाँ से लिखा होता तो यहाँ से डायरेक्टली सिग्नल आ जाती, तो आप उस केस में आपका जो C मैट्रिक्स है, it would have all ones. तो ये R1 R2 की पोजीशन चेंज करने से आपके B और C मैट्रिक्स का स्ट्रक्चर चेंज हो जाता है. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So this is your Jordan's canonical form realization for, इसको बेसिकली ये जो डायगोनल मैट्रिक्स रियलाइजेशन है, इसको जॉर्डन्स कैनोनिकल फॉर्म कहते हैं. इस मैट्रिक्स को जॉर्डन्स कैनोनिकल फॉर्म मैट्रिक्स कहते हैं, जिसमें डायगोनल मैट्रिक्स है. This is basically the Jordan's canonical form realization for a transfer function. But you have to remember, we have considered a case wherein the poles are real and distinct. Because pure diagonal form realization can only be obtained if the poles are real and distinct. अगर poles real और distinct नहीं है, या अगर poles complex हैं, उस केस में Jordan's canonical form का जो structure है वो थोड़ा different आ जाता है. That we'll see in our next lecture. I'm sorry for the interruption. So is that okay? तो अगर पोल्स रियल और डिस्टिंक्ट नहीं है, रियल है लेकिन डिस्टिंक्ट नहीं है, रिपीटेड है कुछ पोल्स, उस केस में डायगोनल फॉर्म रियलाइजेशन थोड़ी डिफरेंट हो जाती है. और अगर पोल्स कॉम्प्लेक्स हैं, in that particular case we get a different type of realization for a system. Complex के केस में इशू क्या आ जाता है? Basically when we say realization, we say that we can actually realize this through in real time through op-amp circuits. Now if in case the pole is complex, so lambda 1 will have complex value, isn't it? In case let's say one pole pair is complex, lambda 1, lambda 2, they are complex conjugates of each other. In that particular case, this lambda 1 here will be a complex number. Let's say it may be 2 plus j3. And it may, what will be lambda 2 in that particular case? If this is a complex pole pair, it will be 2 minus j3. Because we know that complex poles exist in conjugates. अगर आप लैब में जाके इसको रियलाइज करना चाहो, can you realize a complex number, complex gain through op-amps? Because complex numbers are imaginary numbers, they cannot be realized in actually through op-amp circuits. आप complex gain को realize नहीं कर सकते हो, so that becomes a problem. In that particular case, we do some similarity transformation and transform it into some other form wherein we may lose the pure diagonal form, but we will be able to realize this. We'll talk about it later on. Don't get confused with this. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
तो अभी जो हम केस कंसिडर कर रहे हैं, वो वाला केस खाली वो केस है जिसमें कि पोल्स जो हैं वो रियल एंड डिस्टिंक्ट हैं. जिस केस में पोल्स रिपीटेड हो, in case some poles are repeated, Jordan's canonical form realization is a bit different. And what is it like? That you will take as an assignment. In case some poles are repeated in the given transfer function, so Jordan's canonical for you cannot have a what we call pure diagonal form representation in that case. You get a different type of canonical form realization for the case wherein some poles are repeated. In the next class, just tell me what will be the Jordan's canonical form realization for the case wherein some poles are repeated. Is that clear? Just consult books. You can just search on the net and see what will be the Jordan's canonical form realization in that case. The next class में पूछूंगा ये. Now coming back to this case, diagonal matrix की मैंने स्पेशलिटी आपको लास्ट टाइम बताई थी. Diagonal matrix में आप देखो, it's a really special matrix. एक तो स्पेशलिटी इसमें ये है कि ये स्पार्स मैट्रिक्स है. इसमें मैक्सिमम एंट्री 0 है, खाली n एंट्रीज इसमें नॉन जीरो हैं, जबकि इसमें टोटल इस मैट्रिक्स में टोटल कितने एलिमेंट्स हैं? फॉर एन if the order is n, कितना total n cross n elements. That means n square elements. And out of those n square elements, how many are non-zero? Yes?
N.
Only n elements are non-zero. So it's a real sparse matrix. It has got only n non-zero entries. और दूसरी बात ये कि इसमें जो ये diagonal पे जो entries हैं, they are the poles of the transfer function. So if you have been given a representation in this form, you don't need to solve the characteristic equation to get the poles. Directly, you can just look at the diagonal and they will be actually the poles of the transfer function. इसके अलावा भी बहुत सारी properties इसमें हैं जो आपको आगे समझ आएंगी. One very important property, like what happens when you diagonalize a matrix, ये जो equations हैं, ये actually decouple हो जाती हैं. आप देखो इसमें x1 डॉट की इक्वेशन में खाली x1 है. नॉर्मली आपकी जो डिफरेंशियल इक्वेशंस होती हैं वो कपल्ड होती हैं. ये जो स्टेट स्पेस इक्वेशंस बनती हैं वो कपल्ड होती हैं. तो x1 डॉट की इक्वेशन में you can have in general x1 x2 up to xn. But when you do this diagonalization, your equations get decoupled. Just see here, in the equation for x1 dot you have got only x1. In the equation for x2 dot, you have got only x2. In the equation for xn dot, you have got only xn. So that means these equations can be solved independently of each other. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
What is a coupled equation? What are coupled equations? कल हमने वो सेकंड कंपोनेंट फॉर्म फर्स्ट कंपोनेंट फॉर्म किया था. उसमें पता आपको इक्वेशंस कुछ ऐसी आ रही थी. पहली इक्वेशन आ रही थी x1 डॉट इक्वल टू x2 फर्स्ट कंपोनेंट फॉर्म में. Second equation आ रही थी x2 dot equal to x3, so on, and you have got xn minus 1 dot equal to xn. और फिर xn dot जो है वो आ रहा था कुछ minus alpha n x1 minus alpha n minus 1 x2, so on, minus alpha n xn. Do you remember? Plus u. First companion form में ये equations आ रही थी. आपकी जो स्टेट इक्वेशंस थी. अगर आपको ये स्टेट इक्वेशन सॉल्व करनी है तो these equations are to be solved simultaneously, because like in x1 dot की इक्वेशन में x2 है, तो x2 को इवैल्यूएट करने के लिए आपको ये इक्वेशन सॉल्व करनी है, और इस इक्वेशन में x3 है. So all these equations are coupled equations and they are to be solved simultaneously. But if you see here, जब आप डायगोनलाइज करते हो इक्वेशंस को, तो इक्वेशंस जो बनती हैं वो decouple हो जाती हैं. These are decoupled equations. That means x1 dot की इक्वेशन में खाली x1 है, x2 dot की इक्वेशन में खाली x2 and so on. So these are not coupled equations. So that means you can solve these equations independently of each other. So solution wise इसका solution easy हो जाता है. Do you get me?
Yes, sir.
It's like this. If you have two algebraic equations to solve, like 3x plus 2y equal to 5, x plus y equal to 2. These are coupled equations. इन दो equations को आप independently solve नहीं कर सकते. They have to be solved simultaneously. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Both the equations have to be solved simultaneously. लेकिन अगर मैं decouple करूँ इनको, तो equations कुछ ऐसी बन जाएंगी जिसमें solution खुद ही निकल के आ जाएगा. You'll get a solution like this. Like you'll have x, like some decoupled equation means something like this: x plus 2 equal to 3, y plus 5 equal to 7, let's say. So when you solve these equations, you don't need to solve them simultaneously. You can solve them independently of each other. Is that clear? Although these are simultaneous equations थी already. ये वाली equations जो initially जो state model मेरे पास था वो उसमें equations coupled थी. लेकिन when I do this diagonalization, the equations get automatically decoupled. So the level of complexity of the equations decreases. Diagonal form realization has got many other advantages also, which I will be able to discuss only when we move a bit further. Like एक equation, एक और यहाँ पे मैं इसका advantage बताऊंगा. Like you have got this B matrix here. This B matrix has all entries 1, है ना? That means in सभी equations में U है. In all these equations there is a U term. इसका मतलब है कि U जो input है उससे सभी states affect हो जाते हैं. Please interrupt me whenever you feel you are not getting what I am talking about. ये वाली equations मैंने यहाँ पे लिखी, इन सभी equations में अलग-अलग U है. इसमें भी U है, इसमें भी U, इसमें भी. So if I change U, I can change all the states. U is basically the control input. तो इस structure से मुझे पता चलता है कि अगर मैं control input को change कर रहा हूँ तो मैं सभी states को control कर सकता हूँ. Now assume a situation wherein a particular equation doesn't have U term. After diagonalization, diagonalize करने के बाद आप देख रहे हो कि ये दूसरी वाली equation में U है ही नहीं. Now since these are decoupled equations, so if I change U, that actually means that regardless of whatever I do with U, this state x2 is not going to change. क्योंकि U का इसमें effect ही नहीं है. This property you will see later on. This is known as controllability. इसका मतलब है कि x2 वाला जो state है ये uncontrollable है. ये चीजें हम डिटेल में पढ़ेंगे बाद में. मैं जस्ट आपको आइडिया दे रहा हूँ कि जब हम डायगोनलाइज करते हैं सिस्टम को तो हमें क्या-क्या इंफॉर्मेशन मिल सकती है सिस्टम के बारे में. तो B को देख के आप मुझे बता सकते हो कि क्या सभी स्टेट्स कंट्रोलेबल है कि नहीं. ये इंफॉर्मेशन मुझे कपल्ड सिस्टम्स में नहीं दिखेगी. जैसे मैंने यहाँ पे फर्स्ट कंपेनियन फॉर्म वाला बनाया था, फर्स्ट कंपेनियन फॉर्म वाला रियलाइजेशन लिखा था. इसमें क्योंकि इक्वेशंस कपल्ड हैं तो U वाली टर्म अगर किसी भी इक्वेशन में हो तो बाकी इक्वेशन में घुस सकती है बिकॉज दीज इक्वेशंस आर कपल्ड. Like x1 dot is x2, x2 dot is x3. Similarly, xn dot is all x1 up to xn and U. So this U का effect इन सभी equations में जा सकता है because these equations are coupled. So I cannot directly from this structure say whether all the states will be controllable or not. Whereas if I have the diagonal form realization wherein I have decoupled the states, just by looking at the equations, I'll be able to tell whether all the states are controllable or not. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the ये जो details है ये controllability का concept है. It is not that simple. Just an idea I gave you here that what all information is actually embedded in this Jordan's canonical form realization of a transform. Okay. So that's all for today. The tutorial by the end of today we will give the tutorial wherein you have numericals on this canonical form realizations and some numericals on similarity transformation. So by let's say Tuesday you will be asked to submit that tutorial. Is that okay? Any
Yes, sir.
confusion in this?
No, sir.
Tuesday को मुझे वो assignment भी करके चाहिए. I'll ask somebody in the class or I'll ask some of you what actually is the Jordan's canonical form realization for a transfer function while in some poles are repeated. उसमें कैसा स्ट्रक्चर बनता है इसका डायगोनल मैट्रिक्स का, क्योंकि डायगोनलाइजेशन की अगर आप मैट्रिक्स थ्योरी भी देखो, डायगोनलाइजेशन के लिए जरूरी है, अगर आपको प्योर डायगोनल, अगर किसी मैट्रिक्स को डायगोनलाइज करना है तो द एसेंशियल रिक्वायरमेंट इज दैट द पोल्स और द जो उसके आइगन वैल्यूज होंगे उस मैट्रिक्स के वो डिस्टिंक्ट होने चाहिए. डिस्टिंक्ट आइगन वैल्यूज के केस में ही आप प्योर डायगोनल फॉर्म रियलाइजेशन ऑब्टेन कर सकते हो. But in case some poles are distinct, you get a different type of realization, Jordan's canonical form realization, in which the matrix A may not be pure diagonal. So you will just go through the books and tell me what will be the diagonal form realization for that. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
So we'll stop here in case some of you have some query. You can ask me fast. Take 2 minutes में पूछो. Otherwise, we'll just exit from this meeting.
Can we leave, sir, now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you everyone. Next class start हो गई.
Next class start होगी तो जाओ करो next class.
Okay, sir, thank you.
Just leave the meeting and just go.